Two separate incidents have been dominating conversations in Jamaica for the past few weeks. In one case, a pump attendant sprayed gasoline on her attacker and set her ablaze. In another case, two schoolboys in Ocho Rios got into a fight. In both cases, somebody lost their life. Two separate incidents, two different locations, same underlying issue. We have a real problem with the way that we handle conflict in our society. And the worst part is we keep glorifying the same mindset that leads to these outcomes. Hello everyone and welcome to True Chats with Shen. This is where we react to things that are trending online, but we don't just react to them. We try our best to squeeze, if even just a drop of a lesson from it. So if that's your vibe or something that you think you would like, please consider subscribing. And if subscribing is just too much for you right now, please at least drop a like on this video. It goes such a far way. So obviously these two cases are not the exact same. One involves adults, the other involves children. One involves school conflict, the other involves being approached at your workplace. But one thing I want to say is that I think we are far too consumed as the public, especially now these days. I think we're far too concerned with trying to figure out who is the villain, the forever wrong, who is the wrong person, so much so that we fail to really acknowledge what truly matters in these situations. The details are not clear for either of these two cases yet, but for the first case, brief rundown. One girl, she was at work. The other approached her at her workplace. It is said that this is not their first time being involved in a conflict of this nature. The girl who was at work, she was approached by the other lady. She sprayed gasoline on her. It is said that she had a lighter on hand. I don't know how true that is. It said that she had a lighter on hand, and she, after pouring gasoline on her, lit the gasoline.
A Westmoreland woman is battling for life in hospital after she was allegedly set on fire by another woman in Whithorn district on Thursday. Reports are that the two women had an altercation, and shortly after the accused poured gasoline on the other woman and set her ablaze. Another woman who intervened stabbed the accused.
42-year-old Dacia Forrester, the woman who was set ablaze at the Fesco gas station in Whithorn, Westmoreland, has died.
As I said, we don't know how true these sequence of events are just yet. Similar to the next case, the two boys were at school. Apparently, they had a conflict the day before in the middle of Ocho Rios town. They both got into a physical altercation. One boy was hit with a chair in his head. He caught a concussion and he never woke back up.
Grief gripped relatives and the Ocho Rios High School family today after the tragic death of a 16-year-old student. The student died yesterday at the hands of another teenager from the school.
Yesterday in class, during break time, another 10th grade student allegedly struck him in the head with a metal chair, leaving him unconscious. Hours later, Devani was pronounced dead. Reports are that the two boys had a confrontation on Tuesday in the town of Ocho Rios, and it seemed that spilled over into yesterday's attack.
Regardless of the final details, as important as they may be for the final legal aspect of this, which will be life-altering even for those who have not lost their lives, I think regardless of those final details, we have to actually, as a nation, zoom in on this issue, the underlying issue of not having adequate education about conflict resolution in our society, about not having normalized the appropriate methods of conflict resolution, because these incidents are not unique. We've seen them happen time and time and time again in our society. And I think one of the reasons why that is the case is because we have a culture of glorifying confrontation. We have such a huge culture of glorifying or normalizing having confrontations over the smallest things. How many of us have heard, you better not step on the money clocks, cause if I step on the money clocks, you know it'll go. How much time you hear things like, man, I make you diss me? How much time you hear things like, I have to defend it? How much time you hear, man, I make nobody style me, man, I make nobody style my mother? All time you a style your mother. But anyways, how much time you hear, say, no make nobody, no stuff, nobody lick? Oh gosh, me have such even as a parent, me still don't know what to tell my child when it comes to things like that. Cause now she's in school, and me don't know if me for tell her say whatever, or if me for tell her to stand up for herself. That's something me have to deal with right now as a parent. Like, what do I tell my child about conflict resolution? Because these things, it starts from as young as this age. She's 2 years old. It starts from as young as this. We hear them something from a little bit, I come up. It is just normal for us to have fights and have things escalate past words and get physical. Them something they kind of teach we say, the only way if you deal with things in a one way when it make you look weak is if you get to that point, to the point of a physical altercation. Unfortunately, I have been the type of person where from a little say, me might not fight you, but me go cuss you out. I'm used to take like, I used to feel proud about that, say, I might not fight, but I know how to tear you apart with my words, which I think I was just very blessed to not have things escalate that way for me. But these words are usually what leads to the physical altercation anyway. So for even say that, oh, you're not gonna fight, but you will cause, I think it can have the same outcome, right? It's not normalized in our society to just be insulted or be violated in a certain way and just walk away and let the issue be handled by the authorities. That's not something that we actively teach and preach as a society. A lot of us are so ego driven. Me talk a few videos back about the bravado, about the pride. These are the things that cause us not to be able to handle the conflict in the appropriate way. It's so bad that you don't focus on your own safety, you don't focus on the safety of your family, you don't focus on the safety of your children, and that is very concerning. And even if we are not involved in this particular like conflict, we as the people around, we don't make it any better, because how much time we see fights going on and we jump, we gone there with the phone, we are egg on the fight, we are tell them say, yeah, we are tell them what for do, which punch, who for throw the next lick, we are narrate it, we are give it so much energy, and in the process of doing all of that is like we're celebrating the violence. Even if we don't think we're celebrating the violence, in some way we kind of cause it to escalate, because when so much people surround, so much people get involved, and you now have an audience, it's like you think say you have to prove something, not only to the person that hurt you, not only to the person who you and them have the direct conflict, but you have to prove yourself to this audience. You have to prove, say, you can defend your name to this audience, because let's be so for real, if people realize that you're soft, it's also something that can make you a target as well. I don't know about you, but from me, little bit me I hear about conflict resolution in schools. So I'm not gonna act like say we not talk about conflict resolution, because from me in a primary school when we had the social studies, we used to hear about conflict resolution. When we reach high school, we do conflict resolution in a HFLE. If you do social studies, you learn about conflict resolution again. So it's not that we don't talk about conflict resolution in the school system, but I think that talking about it is like the first step, but we have to do something as a collective to cement the idea of appropriate conflict resolution. It cannot be that we're learning about these things and we're mark the correct answer upon the test paper for pass the test, right? However, we not live the things them where we learn. I don't know if there's a disconnect between probably those who are telling us these things, if we can't relate to them, so we don't really want to like take advice from them that are like teachers, or is it that we just believe say these are just things that people say and not actually how people live their lives? I don't know what it is, but there is clearly a disconnect. Really wish that we could find a way to connect it. Me not gonna be the person who can tell you exactly what to do for change this. I think those things have to be handled, like giving that type of advice, and certain, even like most of the things that I talk about on here is that we can point out what is wrong, but for us to actually have solutions that work, I think those things have to be handled by the professionals, and it has to be something that we start to embed in our culture little by little. And I think those things, exactly how to do that, is something that the professionals absolutely have to handle. It's beyond a lady in our room with a camera, to be honest. It's far beyond that. But I think even having the conversation is important, because that is like a first step of change. But just having the conversations is not enough, which is why I'm really take my hat off to the CEO of Bellevue Hospital and the efforts that she's making to bring out things for people to relate to, as it relates to mental health, as it relates to even things like this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna really see a dedicated conflict resolution skit or nothing from her just yet, but I'm sure it's coming with the chain of events that we've been experiencing for the past couple of weeks. I think that's coming very soon, or maybe the day I'm just not see it, I don't know. But I have to applaud the efforts of the Bellevue Hospital, the CEO, Miss Buchanan. I don't know if these things were happening before, but I am so happy to see that we are now starting at least to have the conversation to kind of pass on certain messages about mental health, about how we interact with each other, because that is a first step of change. As I said, the professionals have to handle it, and little by little they are handling it. Even though I'm gonna have the answers, one thing is true though. I think we have to start to be comfortable with walking away, even if your status as a big strong person is being challenged. There are things much more important in life than looking like a big strong person to a group of people who care nothing about you, who in 9 days your story will be over and they will be on to something else. Them something when me talk, I always keep saying this over and over again. I not say them because me perfect. And these are things where me always do this, so me I tell you no. No, it's just obvious that what we have been doing is not working. So we have to make a change. A soft answer turneth away wrath. And every time you have to answer, you know, have to always be so eager for get your point across. You know, have to always, if you see something escalate, you know, have to add fuel to the fire even with your words. You know, have to defend it every time. Because guess what? Sometimes you're wrong for true, sometimes you're wrong. The reality of the situation is when we don't act responsibly in the midst of a conflict, there are always consequences. There are consequences to all your actions, whether they are good or bad. It's just so unfortunate that in these trending cases online, they have ended in such great tragedy. It's such a pity. But the truth of the matter is that these things happen, and they happen as a consequence of us not being able to regulate our emotions effectively and to handle conflict effectively. See there now? 4 families have had life-altering situations happening to them now, grieving in different ways. 4 different families are grieving the life where them lose, and grieving the life where them never get for experience. Grieving this change, the change where go come from this being your new reality. We have to start somewhere. I think it start with a mindset of not glorifying attitudes or behaviors like this. We can't keep on glorifying and do the same things them, and I think say we're gonna have a different result every time. We can't only identify say something terribly wrong with our way of thinking when somebody loses their life. We have to have the mindset of fixing things and not just winning, not just being the one for come out as the victor, because who really wins? The older I get, the less I understand the point of even fighting. You ever see one fight go on too long? Like 2 people when nobody now break up the fight and it just go on and just like what it's so stupid. What the point of that? The truth of the matter is, if we continue to glorify them kind of behaviors here, the outcome are gonna continue to be this way. It's gonna be that somebody lose them life. It's gonna be that somebody I go to jail. Somebody gonna be on a run. Somebody family gonna be in a danger. We have to change our mindset. And I think how we start to change our mindset is with even initiatives like what the Bellevue Hospital is doing now. Little by little, these things will seep into our mind. We're just watching these things, the skits that they do now. It seems like it's just for the laughs, but it's changing. It's going to, over time, alter the way that we think. It might take a while, it will take a while, because nothing happens overnight. But over time, our mindset as a nation will change, and we really need to change, because I'm tired for see them senseless loss of life here. I don't know if nobody else not tired for see them senseless loss of life, tired for see these idiotic viral cussing and fighting videos online. We just make we look so imbecilic. There's more to life, and we have to treat life, treat every single social interaction like we have something more we actually live for. But I just want to end it off with this. Walking away from a situation is not a weakness. It takes strength, and it takes whole heap of wisdom. Let me know what you think about this topic, this video, down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely see you in the next one.